it's not peak selling season here in our part of New Mexico. However, there are buyers looking, and every showing you get this time of year is a serious buyer. You're not getting your house all prepped and ready for someone who just likes to tour houses typically. And we do have lowest inventory levels this time of year. So there are not as many buyers or sellers competing for that buyer. So it can be a really good time. However, it can also be a difficult time for you, especially if you do a lot of entertaining, a lot of cookie baking, a lot of things decorating your house. You're going, should I decorate for my holiday or shouldn't I? Whether, whatever holiday it is for you. And honestly, it has to be the right time for you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 561. Tigo is out at some meetings today, so I'm filling in for him, of course, with Tracy and Asel Venturi. And it's December 4th, and we are in what we're calling the holiday freeze zone. And we're going to kind of dispel some of the myths about the holiday time during real estate. And most specifically, we want to kind of talk about, is it actually a dead zone for the holidays? So let's just start right there.
I'm going to start by saying welcome to Samuel Anderson, the marketing director, since you introduced us, right?
I always forget that part.
Marketing director and moderator today. We appreciate your insight. So is it a holiday dead zone for real estate?
That's what everybody
That's
seems
the
to think. The
question.
rumor, the myth is that you're supposed to kind of go into hibernation and wait till spring at this point. But it seems like that would be a mistake. So what do you guys think about that?
Okay. There are serious sellers now at this point. They want to get their home sold by the end of the year.
And serious buyers,
And
right?
serious buyers.
Because if you're out looking at a house right now, you're not just a looky-loo, because there's a lot of other things wanting our attention right now.
Exactly.
Right. That's a great point.
Family?
Because, yeah, the family time, the holidays, everything. So, yeah, actually, in reality, you're not competing with all of the people in the spring, and you're really getting in front of all of the serious buyers. So in a way, it's kind of an advantage, so to speak.
Yeah,
That kind of takes us to our first topic of the day, which is I want to do a right now reality check. And Tracy, let's start with sellers. Like if I'm a homeowner and I look at the calendar, I see 3 weeks is away. My gut says wait till January. And we kind of just covered this, but can you get into some more details of why that's wrong?
Well, if you need to sell, put your house on the market. Yes, it's not peak selling season here in our part of New Mexico. However, there are buyers looking, and every showing you get this time of year is a serious buyer. You're not getting your house all prepped and ready for someone who just likes to tour houses typically. And we do have lowest inventory levels this time of year. So there are not as many buyers or sellers competing for that buyer. So it can be a really good time. However, it can also be a difficult time for you, especially if you do a lot of entertaining, a lot of cookie baking, a lot of things decorating your house. You're going, should I decorate for my holiday or shouldn't I? Whether, whatever holiday it is for you. And honestly, it has to be the right time for you. I wouldn't wait if you want to get your house sold, though.
Right, exactly. And that's kind of what Tigo always goes back to, which is that the best time to buy or sell is when you're ready to do it. Don't really depend on the calendar. So what do you kind of think about like open houses and stuff? Obviously, we kind of run into a slower time of the year, but do you feel like those open houses might be more successful because they have those kind of buyers that we're talking about, the more serious buyers?
Yeah, I would say you could have more traffic at an open house. Well, people have a little bit more time off as the end of year approaches, and people are out and about shopping for the holidays and see an open house. Stop in.
Yeah, we still do open houses in December, right? And they seem like they're still successful. Of course, it has to work for the seller.
Right.
Right.
And that's kind of what the whole holiday thing gets into, is that there's so many extra things going on that it's hard to just schedule an open house for next Saturday because, oh, that's our holiday party or whatever.
We're making tamales on Saturday.
Or we're making tamales on Saturday. It actually kind of brings up, I've seen a few, we get a lot of open house invitations from other companies and stuff, and we just recently got one that's kind of a holiday themed open house. How do you guys feel about kind of making a theme out of your open house?
Yeah.
A haunted
Haunted
house.
house. We just finished
Still
Halloween,
stuck in
Sam.
Halloween.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I saw one last weekend. One of our brokers on the team did a theme where it was hot cocoa with marshmallows and I can't remember, like ginger snaps or something. And it was, holiday themed. So maybe it was, it was Thanksgiving weekend even. And they did a Saturday and a Sunday and they had it themed. Why not? Everybody's kind of in the mood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I've kind of seen a little bit of trend towards making open houses more of an event, and so that does seem like, especially in the holidays, making them themed makes it more of a draw than just your standard open house this weekend, because
Theme song.
there's 100 of them every
Theme
week.
song. I'll be
Theme
home
song.
for Christmas.
Oh, see, there you go.
Playing music in the
Yep.
background.
Playing
set
music in
the
the
theme.
background.
Make that fire crackling.
Exactly. Well, let's kind of talk a little bit about the seller side of it during the holidays. So there's a big question about, say, I put my house up on the market today. Should I go full holiday decor? Should I have the Christmas tree? Should I be blocking my beautiful view outside of my window just to show off my beautiful Christmas tree? What do you guys think about that?
I think you can do a bit of it. You want to still enjoy your holiday, but I wouldn't go over the top. I'd make sure that anybody viewing your home while it's on the market can still see the great features of your house, maybe not over the top holiday, because it might not even be a holiday they celebrate. So, you got to be careful. And which is interesting because it reminds me of my advice. HGTV, I think, gets it wrong sometimes. I know a lot of us watch HGTV. HGTV says go through your house and make it like a model home before you put it on the market. Get rid of every family photo, take down stuff that's, maybe religious affiliated or specific hobby affiliations and things. And I really disagree with that. So when we talk about should it be decorated for holidays, I think a little is fine, right? People have lives. It feels homey. You go into a house with a buyer, and I bet you experience this, Asel. The buyers want to know something about the
Yes.
sellers, right?
Yes,
They're like,
absolutely.
who lives here? They want to see that it's a happy place, that there are people who look happy together. So I think at least one nice family photo of a gathering of a family looking like they're happy is helpful. And,
Yeah.
I
a
think-
little bit of, time of year appropriate stuff is fine.
Agreed. And I think I get that question a lot. What were the people like that lived here? And their buyers are so curious. And I think that, like you said, warm family photo helps kind of set that future tone within the home, because people are aware of how
Yeah.
does it.
Well, yeah, definitely. You're not buying the house in a bubble, and so if you are a family, you kind of want to see a family lived here, and they seem
It
to have
wasn't like a
enjoyed it. It wasn't
distressed
just
home.
right.
It
It
was
wasn't, or
well loved.
the very clean, manufactured, sanitized version of the home, as they say, the model home look.
And model home is good too. I just think if you're living in a home, it's hard anyway having your house on the market. So yes, put a lot of things away. They say take half of everything off every shelf, right?
Right.
Put things away. So
I just
but-
showed a home in Placitas and it was beautiful. Sellers still lived in it. There were very clean. I was impressed at how clean it was. You could tell they had younger children. They had a little bit of holiday decorations, which was nice to see because it kind of gave a little warmth. They stored a balloon. Someone must have had their 3rd birthday in one of the offices. So they cleaned it up very well, but you could still see the warmth and how they were living. And I was actually very impressed because it looked like they had an infant and a 3-year-old.
yeah, good for them because that's hard.
Yeah.
Very
that's,
pristine, too.
That's interesting, and I just kind of.
Oh, hi.
Just kind of following up on that, and it's not on my list, but it brings up curiosity. What about having pictures outside of like if you're selling now, should you have some pictures of your home during the summer or during the spring? Or is that something that you just kind of got to sell it as it is during the holidays? What do you all think about that?
Well, we've talked about this on our podcast many times, right? We actually have photos right now waiting for people who are going to be selling in February and March. We've already taken photos while it was pre-fall or fall, And of course, yeah, we want some photos that show the beautiful lush yard if we're going to put your house on the market in the middle of winter. So if you don't have them, okay. But a lot of people, we get photos from sellers too. They show us their balloon pictures of the balloon flying over their yard. And so we try to add some of those too so that buyers during the winter can see what the yard looks like when it's in its full glory.
Yep.
Well, and that's maybe a bit of good advice for anybody thinking about selling your homes is to kind of take your own pictures of the spots that you love so that we can incorporate them. Because we, as you said, we incorporate quite a few user pictures of their amazing view during Balloon Fiesta, which we would never be able to capture with our professional photography unless we go out during Balloon Fiesta. But they get it when they're out there drinking their coffee in the morning.
That house we listed 2 weeks ago on Hollywood Boulevard in Corrales.
Mhm.
Okay, so it's kind of ironic to me. Hollywood Boulevard, you immediately think California and maybe city lights overlooking LA or something. Well, it's city and mountain overlooking Albuquerque. But they supplied several photos of balloons and their view and the sunsets, and wow, spectacular. And so that helped paint
Yeah.
the whole picture.
Definitely. And in some ways, those are the bigger selling features than how the living room looks or how the living room
And I
looks
think
in
it
the
helps
kitchen.
out of state buyers too, kind of get a full picture of
Totally.
where the home is
Absolutely.
at and what their life could be like.
Yep, for sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to kind of pivot, and we ourselves are also preparing for 2026. And the plan for next year is we really want to be an educational resource for everybody, for buyers, sellers, and for other realtors themselves. And so Tigo has devised a plan for us to start a video FAQ for our website and for our YouTube. And basically, we kind of want to kick it off and find out what the most frequent asked questions you guys get are so that I can kind of start my job, but also put it out there for our audience to find out what questions they want a simple answer to. So, Asel, why don't we start with you? What are some of the questions you pretty much hear from every client that you work with?
How long does it take to close?
Ah, that's a good one.
How long does it take to close? It depends whether you have financing involved, if you're getting a loan, or if it's cash. Cash, it's typically you can close a lot faster because the process during the purchase is getting home inspections, as well as making sure the house is free and clear with title.
Yep.
And the title search.
If you want to close quicker, yeah, cash usually is the way.
Yeah.
So typically in our market, it's 30 to 45 days from accepted contract to closing. And while lenders and buyers maybe could do it a lot quicker, I mean, we have lenders who could close you in 14 to 21 days, even with a loan for most types of loans. Some of the specialty loans, no. But the thing like you're mentioning is a lot of times you're getting home inspections and then there's a second negotiation, which is a repair request. We're talking about resale homes. And a lot of times there's things that come up and the buyers and sellers then have a second negotiation on those repairs. So that whole process can take 3 weeks, to get the inspections on the schedule, get the reports back, do a little more negotiating if needed, and then be doing final prep for closing. One of the things on that is new construction right now. And this is just for December 4th, 2025, right?
Right.
So there are some new home builders out there right now that have homes with huge incentives on them for buyers. So if you want to close by December 31st this year and get a great deal, you should be calling us right now, right?
And a
We
new
can-
home.
And be in a new home by the end of the year. Yes, it's tricky, but it can be done. Some of the lenders that work with those new builders are pretty awesome. And they can get things done pretty quickly. Plus, new homes, yes, you can get an inspection on it, but typically you're not going to find a major problem with it that needs to be fixed. And if there are things that come up on an inspection on new construction, the contractors are probably still in the neighborhood and they're usually in that house the same day taking care of it. So it's possible. But if you're thinking of a new home, let's talk new construction like today. Let's get you out tomorrow. Let's get you out this weekend, and maybe we can have you in a house in 3 weeks, and that would be awesome. So And
Yeah.
call us, 505-448-8888, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
We forgot the contact stuff. And also you can check out our webpage at welcomehomeabq.com. Tracy, it's interesting that you talked about that because that kind of led into what my FAQ is going to be. My question that first comes to mind, because we're talking about holidays, is can I start today and have a home by the end of the year? And you kind of answered it a little bit there, but Asel, why don't you get into a few more of the details about is it already too late to be able to have a home? Like, obviously, if we talked about new construction, but what about if you're just doing a regular deal?
Yeah, I would say if you find a house today, you can absolutely get in one. I would say that if you're financing the house, a big push would be making sure you have all the required documents that the lender is going to want to see, like bank statements, 2 months worth of bank statements, your taxes, your credit card statements, making sure that you can get all your documents into the lender as soon as possible, because sometimes that can take a few days to get going, and making sure that the lending side has the opportunity to review everything and make sure that you're good to go.
That's probably the biggest, right?
Yeah.
If you already have, a great lender in your corner and you've already started that process and maybe already supplied them documents, absolutely, we can get you in a home by the end of the month. But we need to do it now.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, that's the key thing.
Updated
Start
stuff.
now,
If you have
start
a
now, start now.
Pre-approval letter.
Kind of funny.
updated.
Not that this is related at all, but one year I was planning for like 16 or 18 people at my house on Christmas Eve, because my house is where everybody goes, which I love. And I was out showing houses all day on Christmas Eve, right? It was like 3 o'clock when I got home, and thankfully Tigo is a great cook and prep, and I just got to show up and enjoy the evening with the large group. But we do that, right? As real estate professionals, that's the day my clients had off. That's the day the houses were available that they wanted to see.
Did you read an offer?
I don't remember, but I hope I did. I was out on New Year's Day many times too, right? It's people have time off from work and they have goals, so we're here for you.
Yeah, and that's probably a big key that kind of goes back to the when you're ready, it's the right time, because as you said, sometimes this is the only time of year when people have the time to go and see stuff, even if it is Christmas Eve. And so kudos to you all for doing that, because Christmas Eve to me is basically a locked in family holiday. I can't even imagine being away. And so
Yeah.
that's kudos to you.
Yeah. So actually, Sam, I can think of 3 clients we have right now who we know on the calendar are coming in the next 2 to 3 weeks to look at houses, because that's the time they have to
Right.
come. And we're already like watching houses for them, sending them what's in the pipeline and getting them ready so that when they get here, they've got their ducks in a row. The lending's already underway and they know they can confidently move forward, because even though we are saying it's a less busy time in real estate, the houses that are great are still getting multiple offers and they're still selling quickly. So some of the things our clients who are coming in 2 weeks or 3 weeks from now, some of the houses they're looking at will not be available.
Right.
So we're keeping it updated and fresh for them, but they are realizing that they're not going to just, all these houses aren't going to just sit and wait for them. And once they get here and they find the right one, they can't go home and wait a week and think about it.
Right.
So,
And that's probably one of the biggest things to note in this discussion is that, yes, inventory may be low and yes, there may be less traffic all around, but those great houses are selling just as fast as they do in the springtime.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes even faster, because there's less competition. There's fewer,
More serious buyers.
yeah, more serious buyers. And so that's a great way to kind of cap that segment. I kind of want to move into, we've talked about buyers and sellers, and I kind of want to talk about, we have a ton of realtors who listen to our show as well. And so we kind of want to throw something out for them and talk about their plans for 2026, because 2025 was such a weird year and there were so many changes. And so, Tracy, can you talk to us about what the benefits are from going from, a lot of people might be thinking about going from solo agents to joining a team like ours? What are some of the benefits that they can see from that?
Okay. So here we go. Interesting topic, Sam. So, I don't spend a lot of time recruiting people to real estate or whatever. Our goal is to help buyers and sellers and facilitate real estate transactions. But we do have some opportunities on our team or with our company. So somebody that might be thinking of making a change with brokerages or how they do real estate in 2026, the annual dues are coming up and maybe you're going, should I stay in real estate or shouldn't I? I would say call me, give me a DM, something, and let's talk, because there's some great opportunities maybe with our team where you feel more supported. We have Sam here doing all of our marketing for our home sellers, right? So we've got that support doing the videos and the YouTube and the Instagram and all of the paid advertising we do. So that support's there. But we also have other staff to help with transactions, to be here as a resource for training and just the camaraderie that we have as a part of a team. So we would love to hear from you if you're interested in joining the team. But if you're just interested in knowing more about our brokerage, Real Broker, happy to cover that too, because, we've loved our 23 years in real estate, but we really love where we're at right now. And there's a lot of reasons why we love Real Broker. And so give me a call, send me an email, send me a text, whatever. I'd be happy to talk about it.
Yeah, I think it's really important to kind of point out how much the real estate landscape has changed in the past few years, and how the idea of being a lone agent, a lone wolf agent, so to speak, really is kind of a thing of the past, because you need so much support, because so many people have AI and tools that can make them do things so much faster, that if you don't have a kind of a support group to help, you're already kind of setting yourself behind. And so, Asel, what do you think about our team's our team's ability to mentor people? You're fairly young in the business, but of course, obviously, you've grown up in the business. But we have a lot of really experienced people on our team that help our newer agents to go by. What have you seen as far as that goes?
It's nice having seasoned brokers on the team to reach out to and bounce ideas back and forth, or making sure you're on the right track. Also, our transaction coordinator and listing manager, Leah, she's pretty great too. Very knowledgeable, and she's a great resource too to ask any questions. And a thing I really like about being on a team is having cover. So
Yeah.
It's
That's
interesting
true.
you say that, because that's kind of what I was, fishing for, that type of answer, which is that the great part about being on a team that I've seen, and I view it kind of from the outside because I'm not in real estate necessarily, but I see somebody come in with a problem, and inevitably somebody on our team, one of the 15 agents, says, I've dealt with something like that, or I've done something like this, or have you tried that? And so really it's about having that expertise to kind of bounce it off of. I see it at our meetings all the time, and I can't imagine not agents that go through it without having that resource. And so it's a very valuable thing that I can tell just from the outside looking in. So yeah, it's great to cover that.
Perfect. I feel like we have a great team, right? Like such a well-oiled gel group that just supports each other. And Asel's been here a couple of years now, and as a licensed realtor, before that lending. And I think she's so much further along, as are most of the newer brokers, because of that support. And everybody loves to jump in. Somebody has a question or something comes up. It's not just like one person. If we're in the office, everybody's like problem solving, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think there's a lot of people who are solo brokers who have that mentorship. They have that person. It might be their QB. It might be whoever told them, hey, real estate's a great profession. So hopefully, they are well supported. But if not, and you want to talk, give a call.
Yeah, definitely. There's always going to be the place for those solo people, but yeah, if you want to talk and join the team.
Yeah, let's talk about something fun and off
Yes,
topic.
let's do it.
I mean, it's the holidays, it's December. Sam, I know you've got stuff lined up.
That's the perfect segue, because Tracy, it's interesting that you bring that up, because you are the neighborhood spotlight expert. I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about how Albuquerque has grown into quite the hotbed for holiday light displays since 2020. Basically, what we're showing on screen right now is an Albuquerque holiday light map that was user generated, and you can see
look at all of those.
These are just the ones that have added, because they were ready to go on December 1st. This map will be about twice as big, and it's a user generated map, and it's been going on for this is its 5th year, and it's just an amazing resource. It's got Christmas luminarias, it's got specifics for holiday displays, it's got specifics for giant Christmas trees. Right now, the only one on there is the one in Old Town because they do their lighting right away. And then, of course, it has the musical light shows, which is pretty amazing. Tracy?
Well, I knew we were going to talk about holiday lights, so I was thinking about Susan Buckman's daughter and son-in-law have a phenomenal display. It's got music. It's a big show at 6401 Pepperdine.
Yep.
Yeah, Pepperdine Northeast. So go find it if you get on Facebook. I don't know. They broadcast live when it's evening, and it's just an awesome show.
It's pretty amazing how far they've come with a lot of these light displays, because I remember, obviously, growing up in Albuquerque, you go out Christmas Eve and you go see the luminarias and you'd see those displays, but never anything like this. And this is an amazing new.
So we have good friends in Santa Fe, good friend realtors in Santa Fe that we kind of partner with back and forth. And I always see their posts because they, of course, don't call them luminarias in Santa Fe. They're farolitos.
Farolitos, yeah.
Yeah, and they're like, well, in Albuquerque, they're luminarias, but here in the city, different. We call them farolitos.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Except only recently, because I feel like I've always heard them called luminarias.
I've heard them mixed, but I didn't realize the distinction. Different cities call them different.
Right.
But let's pray, hope for no wind on Christmas Eve, because Old Town Albuquerque and the whole country club neighborhood is just phenomenal. And, if it's windy, a lot of the candles blow out and they're hard to light and things, and bags are burning and stuff. But if you've never done the Old Town tour and just gone down there and driven through in the evening, we always like to go late after a lot of the traffic's gone, because the candles stay lit for about 10 hours. So if you do all your festivities and it's 9:30 and everyone's still up and going, get in your car, go do the Old Town thing, turn your lights off, cruise very slowly, just like everybody else, but the traffic will be much better. You'll actually be able to get there and see them. I'm curious if Santa Fe does the same thing, but
when is Knob
I know
Hill's?
huh?
I was going to say, when is Knob Hill Shop Stroll? Because that reminded me.
I think that's on the 6th. That's this Saturday, isn't it?
That is this Saturday.
I think it
yeah.
is.
I believe it is.
We can look while we're talking. So in Santa Fe, the plaza's already lit up. We were there last week for an event, Tigo and I, and the trees have lights in them. And, there were a lot of people. It was an afternoon and it turned to evening while we were there. And there was people performing. There's the stage there. And I don't know if it was impromptu or if it was scheduled through the city, but there was musicians all over on different corners, just kind of hanging out and playing. It was so great.
Wow.
So Santa Fe's got it too.
That's really cool. It gives that kind of Norman Rockwell holiday feel, which is just one of the most nostalgic things that you can get. Actually, so it's a good thing that we looked it up, because 30th annual Knob Hill Shop Stroll is tonight, December 4th.
The 4th, that's right. I realized after I said it, I think it's on Thursdays.
Yep.
So it's tonight.
So bundle up and get out there and do that. Asel, you were also talking about the
River of Lights.
River of Lights. Yes. Do you have any details on that, or you're planning on going to that at least?
I'm planning to go. I got my tickets online for 4, and they had me select a time that
an
arrival.
entry time. Arrival, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So they have so you can just get online and schedule a time. That's better.
I'm sure they're trying to space it out. Have you ever been in the traffic trying to get parked for River of Lights?
And specifically because my parents always said, no, we're not going to deal with
it's worth it, but the traffic will be backed up to I-40 to get to the aquatic botanical garden. My brother used to live right by Old Town, right off Rio Grande, across from the Hotel Albuquerque. And so we were there on Christmas Eve a lot, and we would go walk.
Gotcha.
And the River of Light traffic would be backed up on the freeway.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah. No wonder why there's an hour window to get in.
Right. They're trying to space people out.
No, that's smart. That's very smart to do that.
And it's going to be cold tonight. I mean, today's dropped from yesterday already. So.
Yeah. So definitely bundle up if you're planning on going out there to the River of Lights.
Okay.
I have one, and the Shop and Stroll. Yes, Shop and Stroll tonight. River of Lights for the whole holiday
all
season.
through the season. Yeah.
I just have one location that I like to go to for Luminarias, and it's the Solar neighborhood off of 4th Street
Oh,
and
right.
Solar. And because the whole community, I'm sure it's an HOA thing, but every single house has them, and it's just always my favorite tour. It goes all the way from 4th Street all the way back past Alvarado Elementary School.
over to Rio Grande. I like to travel Rio Grande, but yeah,
Yes.
it's not just on Christmas Eve, because a lot of people put out, real holiday lights, and a lot
Yeah.
of those estates have some big. There's that one house that has the horses running with a carriage and
Yes.
different things. So
Yes.
that's beautiful too. Ridgecrest also does a lot of lights, a lot of luminarias and different lights, but a lot of neighborhoods, people get really into it. So
Yeah.
it's a great time of year. So Sam, we've way off track talking whatever. What's the final wrap here today? What?
Well, basically, we want to kind of get a little bit of feedback from the audience.
Do we start over?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you want to just go back to next week?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, it's been fun.
I'll wrap this up too. So yeah, plenty of holiday lights and displays for you to go out and check out. If you want to check out the map, we have a short link for you, abq.re/abq lights, and you'll get access to that map. It updates as they update it, and yeah, go check it out. So, but yeah, I think it's about time we wrap it up. It's been fun. It's been
Yeah, maybe
all over the
Tico
place.
will be back next week. We'll see.
Yeah, we're thinking Tigo will be back next week, but of course he may get called to another meeting. But when he does come back, we're obviously going to keep wrapping up the end of the year, and Tigo's going to jump into those. By that time, he'll have all of the numbers from the November market update. So we're going to deep dive into that and figure out exactly where we are compared to the beginning of the year. So please let us know in the comments, what's that one real estate question that needs to have that one simple answer. Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, have a great weekend. And we will see you next week on Albuquerque Real Estate Talk. Thanks, everybody.